Welcome, soul friends, to our Facebook knowings. I wanted to thank you all for the brilliant questions that you've sent to us. And though, of course, I can't answer all of them, I wanted you to know that I do see them all. And I'm sending you great love and the most radiant light.
Chris, here's a question from Pedro Fadul. There's a famine in some parts of my country, especially in some places close to the mountains. This situation has made me wonder about how I can help these people. Why does this occur? Is there any spiritual lesson to be learned out of this?
Well, there are many, many lessons. Thank you, Pedro, for this question. First of all, let me say that the people who all over the world are suffering from famine and hunger are doing so for a spiritual purpose. They are not being punished by some god at all, but they are great souls who are using their bodies, the physicality, to imprint on us that there is a conversation that is about us. The first question would be, if they are starving physically, in what way am I starving? Are you starving emotionally? Are you starving spiritually? And therefore, you need to meditate on that conversation. Where is that hunger inside you? That by looking at it from inside you, you can begin to erase the purpose of it across the world. The second part of that is that we must, as humans, learn to share. There is enough food on this planet to feed everyone for many, many years. Why have we not learned a simple fact, which is that what happens to you happens to me? And so for whatever motive, let us destroy all hunger by sharing what we have with others. How can we do that? Well, one way, of course, is to just make sure that the powers that be extend what we have to others. I was once in the Peace Corps, and we always said, help others to help themselves. And so my perspective on that will be, if you want to be involved, look at how you could educate those people. Instead of giving them food, which they might not like, give them seeds, help them to discover ways to make money for themselves, little micro industries which are occurring around the planet. So there are ways that you can be actually involved. And then ultimately, Pedro, and a spiritual perspective, you can extend light to them. Light to them who are hungry, and light to those who need to help them, who karmically need to erase that situation. It might be your government, it might be your neighbors, whoever, it might be you, who have the power and the spiritual karma to help them. A quick way to do that is to simply bring them into your mind's eye and then ask, what frequency of light do you need from me? What color do you need to dissolve away your hunger, to lead you out of this situation so that you will not be hungry tomorrow or tomorrow or tomorrow. Whatever color pops into your consciousness, imagine that you're drawing it from the cosmos down through your solar plexus, the seat of your emotional body, and extend that color to them. They will receive it. It may calm them. It may fill their stomachs. It may give them a sense that things are going to change and that they are the agents of change. Because, Pedro, one of the things that my higher self tells me is that each and all of us are the agents of change on this planet at this time. Blessings to you all.
Chris, this is a question from Sylvia. She's asking, why does the body age although we feel young at heart? She also asked this question in German, which is, warum altert der Körper trotzdem, obwohl wir uns im Herzen jung fühlen?
Great. Well, I will answer it in English, though I welcome all of our German soul friends, our Facebook friends. That's a great question for any of us over about 18. And what I would say is that once we move through a certain level of life, maybe our children have left the nest and we begin to see life from a different perspective. We're not trying so hard to accomplish something, to meet our goals, to be visible in the world. And so we begin to embrace the spiritual energy, the unmanifest worlds. And that gives us a different perspective. It calms our sense of self. It strengthens our sense of selves. In astrology, we say that at around 49 to 52 is the time of the Pluto return. And that is a great moment for everyone because it opens up that spiritual energy and allows it to come in. Death, rebirth. And that rebirth is a spiritual, unmanifest, expansive consciousness that comes into us. And so we begin to feel younger. We begin to feel wise. We begin to feel in control of our lives. We begin to feel peaceful. When you feel peaceful, a lot of the anxiety falls away. And so the body feels good to us again. We need now to take that to the next octave, wherein we can command our bodies to stop the aging process. We know that cells will live a very long time if they're given everything they need. So now is the moment for young and old and in-betweeners to begin to say, what do you need, body? To be eternally young, physiologically. We know that what happens is that as we age, the endocrine glands, the organs of the body stop receiving the nourishment. It isn't that the hormones are not there, but they stop receiving because the receptor cells that are on the outside of the cells say, no, I don't want that anymore. So you can affect not only that you feel young, but that you can reverse your age by talking to your receptor cells with your consciousness, by asking your body, what does it need? Does it need minerals to stimulate the hormonal production? So that you command the cells. It's very exciting in today's world because we're beginning to work with stem cells, not only in a way to stimulate our own stem cells, which hold within them the history and the memory of youth, of rejuvenation, of being able to go from one cell to another in perfect form. That is going to be what will allow human incarnation to change from 75.5 years to beyond our genetic potential of 120 years. We should all be living to be 120 now, and we could extend that. So it's simply using your consciousness. Imagine that you could simply say, body, what do you need now to stimulate the stem cells? Or what do you need now to reverse any aging that's gone on? And suddenly you feel, I need to drink more water, I need to exercise more, I need more minerals, I need this and this and this. And then you do that. And then you bring your mental body and your spiritual and emotional and physical bodies into perfect harmony with each other so that they express the purpose of your incarnation, which could go on in an ageless way. Great love, Sylvia.
Chris, here's a question from Vanessa, and she's from Brazil. I've been thinking a lot about the soul and the spirit, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this.
Oh, thank you, Vanessa, and hello. We always hold you in our hearts. You know, there is a lot of confusion over the words spirit and soul. In many places, and certainly in Brazil, they use the word spirit. For me, and in all of my books, when I'm speaking to you, when I use the word spirit, I'm talking about an element that has energy in it that is touchable in a way. Spirits, as you certainly know in Brazil, have personalities. If you're talking about a disincarnate, energetic. The spirit takes in the experience of a life and carries it into the astral and then exudes it from the astral in such a way that it might be channeling that through a person who is enacting or calling forth those spirits. And so when we talk about spirit, we're talking about emotions, we're talking about colors, we're talking about infrared vibrations that belong on, let's say, a more physical level. A mother having a baby in the womb might say, this spirit is strong, this spirit is powerful. Because she can feel the life force that is different from any other baby that she's had. Why? Because at the moment of conception, there is a superimposing of the spirit energy, which is the emotional body, onto the physical genetics. And that brings about, again, the personality elements, the conclusions of incarnations of the soul. And so the spirit is something that's tangible. And that spirit comes into us, again, through the Akashic records, through something that has belonged to our infinite incarnations forever and ever. What I have noticed, and I've had the great honor to experience, is that the soul itself does not enter the body until the moment of birth, until the first breath in actuality. So the babies that die before they are stillborn, the soul has not entered in there. And so that brings about many different changes of opinion or questions or dilemmas. But the soul is the ultimate essence of the life force energy, the divine energy that encompasses all of the cosmos, all of the universes. Ultimately, there is one soul. There is one vibration, divine vibration of creation, and that is our soul. The way we like to think of it as humans in our intellectual perspective is that the soul will choose to separate out, to individuate, to come into body, to incarnate. And the moment that it chooses, because the soul chooses to incarnate, you are not an accident. It's nobody else's fault that you're here. Through the power of your divine soul, you chose to separate out and to come across the veil from the unmanifest into manifestation. At that moment of coming across, there is a vibration that allows the spirit to attach and life to begin within the womb. But that individuation of the soul's purposes then unites with the spirit at the first breath, so that the purpose of the life then comes into view. The recognition of the soul's evolution. What must I do in this incarnation for the evolution of my soul and for the evolution of all souls? Perhaps I need to learn peace or compassion or humility or oneness. And so through the vibration of the soul, the spirit will begin to enact or create the experiences that allow for that evolution. So they are, in fact, very different, the spirit and the soul. And it's better if we begin to separate them out so that we can see that we all have spirit and that that spirit has been influenced by our incarnations. And we all have soul, which goes on beyond physical death. They both go on beyond physical death. Great, Vanessa.